Hello, hi, good morning, and welcome to our Thursday morning super full blue moon light language event. There's a lot of words there. But yeah, we are once again at a full moon, and it's a very powerful, very special one. It's a blue moon because it's the second one in a month, and it's a super moon because it will look huge. It does look huge because right now it is closer to the earth than all the other full moons that we've had. And therefore its influence, the light that shines down on us, it travels even deeper into our consciousness, into the parts of us that we are hiding. I think this is one of the real stories of this full moon, is it's trying to illuminate the parts of us that we have denied, that we have sat on, that we have thought we could ignore. And we know that full moons are so powerful, we can't ignore them, no matter how we try. And I'm going to read to you one of the things that was said to me as I was meditating on this moon. And it was about how the universe uses the moon almost as a tool to pull out of us what it is that we need to examine. Good morning to you. Thank you for being here. So, we have this full moon really reaching into those parts of us that we have sat on, that we have denied for so long. And it's trying to bring them up to the surface, not in order to tease us, to cause problems for us, to cause chaos in our lives, even though it may bring that. But actually, Spirit brings us this energy because it wants us to be happy. It wants us to navigate our path through life in the way that is most beneficial for us, for the collective, and for the universe itself, because the universe is constantly growing and expanding, and it needs us to go with it. After all, something can't grow and expand if one part is held back. So universe uses these moons, gifts us these moons, in order to help us grow, so that it can grow. And what incredible times they are. What absolutely astonishing moons we have had over the last 3 years. Now, I've written pages of notes because if I don't write them down, I completely forget them. So, as I'm sure many of you do, anyone who finds that your memory is just not where it used to be, it's okay. This is just where we are right now, because I'll tell you a story. I used to sort of have to write everything down and have lists of things, and this is what I've got to do, and feel like a failure if I hadn't done them. And I remember speaking to my homeopath years ago, and I said, you know what, I haven't done a single thing on my list. And I said, I just keep forgetting to look at it. And her response was, well, maybe you're just not such a tight ass. I thought, okay, I'll take that. I was just beginning to relax and go with the flow of life. So this is really where we are. We are just beginning to relax into who we are and just going with the flow, because there's nothing else we can do, really. There just isn't. Yeah, I thought you'd like that. So, as I've said, these full moons, this whole series of full moons, they have been opportunities for us to find ourselves. You know, when you're a teenager and you look back and I don't know whether you did in school, but in school we had all these forms to fill in, like, who are you? That makes sense. Oh, don't say things like that, Donna. if I go that way, I'm in trouble. But all these forms about who are you? Are you an optimist or a pessimist and all this? And they were completely useless, really. But, at that time, we were all asking and saying, who am I? What is my purpose in life? Those great teenage questions. And then we sort of get caught up in a 9-to-5 job and get married, have kids, whatever it is. And that question, it doesn't really come back again. You know, as in, what is my purpose? Suddenly our purpose is to support the mortgage, to pay the bills, to feed the kids, you know, whatever is going on in your life. That seems to become the purpose. And we forget about our real heart purpose, our soul purpose, the one that we were asking for when we were teenagers. We get caught up in this treadmill and we don't actually look back and say, but hang on, what was my purpose? What is it? Is it just to work in this office until I'm 70 and then have 10 years of fun? Is that it? And all these moons are helping us truly explore and illuminate those big questions again about what is my purpose. And, you know, some people are very, very happy in going to the office and, you know, earning their money, and that's great for them. But some people feel a deeper longing, a deeper yearning. And if you are, this is what this energy is all about, is illuminating the heart, illuminating the needs, the desires of the heart and of the soul, and going back and becoming that teenager again and saying, so what's my purpose? What am I here to do? What is my life role? So there we are. That's what I feel from this moon. And it's in Pisces. And Pisces, obviously a very watery sign. And it's said, Pisces being the last sign of the zodiac, that all the other signs, all the energy, all the waters from those signs flow into it. So Pisces is highly aware of all the aspects of life, everything. So, you know, it might feel a bit like chaos is in every area. You sort of think, is anything stable right now? And you go, no, with this Pisces moon, nothing is stable, as though somebody has literally got the table and turned it upside down. And you're going, where do I start putting this back together? And this is the moment when all this chaos has arrived to actually start looking at what you want to put back on that table. And not through our mind, not through thinking this is what should go on the table, which is a lot of how we live our life, is what should go there. But instead, feeling into our heart, feeling into our soul, communing with our spirit, and actually turning around and saying, what would I like to put back on that table? What would I like to have back within my life? And it's tough sometimes, because you have to realize what is not a part of your life anymore. And that could be family members, it could be work, it could be friends, it could be absolutely anything. But it is a tough moment when your intuition says, you know, I don't want this back. My intuition tells me there is another path, there is somewhere else for us to go. And this is what we have in this full moon, is allowing the intuition to take us forward, not our brain, not our logical mind. Because our logical mind can construct anything, but it doesn't mean that it agrees with the heart. It doesn't mean that that is our truth. And if you're on a spiritual journey, it is ever more important that you listen to your spirit and not the shoulds and the have-tos of the brain. So another thing that a huge message we've had over the past 3 years is, everything we do must serve the collective. You must do this in order to help humanity. You must do this for your community. And the real thing is, if you do what feels right to you, if you step into what your intuition tells you to do, you are actually serving the collective in the highest way possible. When you're doing something because somebody tells you it's right, by not serving yourself, you are not serving the collective. So actually taking that time to be with yourself, to uncover, this is the best way that you can serve the universe and everyone here on earth. That is the best way. And it is so incredibly important for us to open up to our feelings again. You know, the last 3 years have been very traumatic for a lot of people in various different ways, whether it is now the cost of living, or whether it was you're grieving, or business is just whatever it is. There's been a lot of trauma, and what has happened is a lot of people have closed down their feelings, scared to look into their feelings, scared to see the pain, rather existing on the top of everything. And it's like, if I wear the sheen of happiness, therefore I am happiness. But all that happens is that people are ignoring how they really feel. And I get it. It can be really painful. But we have to go back into that soup of our feelings, because this is how we access the intuition. We have to be able to go back in and say, I'm safe, it's okay, I can go back in and look at how I feel, because the universe is supporting me to do that. And then to find how we feel, to allow it, because our intuition, it is really led by our feelings. When something feels right, it is our intuition telling us, and when it feels wrong, it is another message from our intuition. We can't just ignore our feelings. They are our signpost, they are our guide, and we need to explore them instead of this sort of structured learning process that we are encouraged to take throughout life. Learning is not structured. Learning is higgledy-piggledy and wild and crazy. And this is the reality of life. It is messy, but beautifully so. It really, really is. And a part of the listening to our feelings is listening to the gut. They kept telling me about how our gut is our emotional brain. It talks to us all the time. Think about your own brain. It is forever nattering away. My God, do our brains ever shut up? No. They are constantly critiquing, suggesting, and so on. And our emotional brain, our gut, it also has the same level of communication skills, except we're very, very good at ignoring it. We can just shut it off. We can say, oh, I don't need to listen to that. It's only a sick feeling that I've got. It's only, nerves in my belly. I can ignore it. Well, yeah, you can ignore it. You can take an antacid, you can take a ibuprofen, you can eat some chocolate, you can do whatever it is. Alternatively, you can actually start listening to it. And when something feels wrong, listen to it. The brain will go, hey, you should. But your emotional brain will be countering that and saying, doesn't feel right. And previously we've been taught you've always got to do what the brain says. And that's taken us to places and we've gone, oh, I don't like it here. Well, of course, because your brain has been coerced, manipulated, whatever it is, to take you to that place. Whereas the emotional gut, the brain in there, will also talk. And this will lead you to the places that your heart and your soul want to go to. The place that is right for you. And yes, it takes courage. It takes strength to be able to stand up and say, I'm going to listen to this rather than this. But it's worth it. It's worth it in every way. And what the universe constantly asks us to do is to trust. Wow, that's a big thing, isn't it? Trust is this massive sort of spectre that hangs over us. But the universe is not like some corrupt people. The universe is always trustworthy. The universe is our parent. Why would a loving, beautiful, divine parent let us down? It wouldn't. It just wouldn't. And as a part of the journey, they say, trust with laughter and with joy. Find the silliness in life. Find the daftness. When we laugh about life, about ourselves, about our situation, it is so much easier. The universe can resonate really easily with that joy and laughter. And to know that if there is a mistake that was made, laugh about it. Because as soon as we start thinking, oh my God, I've just ruined my entire life path. I've just ruined everything. No, you haven't. You know, there is this thing about everything is now wrong. No, you've made one tiny little decision that wasn't your emotional gut. It doesn't suit you. But everything else, that's great. So focus on that. And that silly little thing, laugh at it, laugh with it. It makes life so much easier. So, you know, we've got to come back into our intuition and out of the science. If we listen to the science, there's always a justification for something. Whereas when we listen to our gut, you never have to justify it. You never have to justify how you feel. It is how you are feeling. You don't need to try and justify where you are going if it feels right. It just feels right. And that's it. You know, I'm reminded, you know, of when I was a kid, and, you know, it's like the kid will go, oh, I don't want to go to this party. And the adults go, well, you have to go. You have to go because you've been invited. You know, I don't want to go to school today. Well, you have to go to school. It's the law. And think about these positions that we're forced into again and again. And it's always a justification. You have to go. And so we end up in a state where we don't want to listen to the intuition. We turn away from it. Whereas actually what we need to do is simply say, well, this is what I'm feeling. And I'm going to act upon those feelings, because some people hear the universe directly. They hear their guides and so on. And for other people, it's more difficult. But the universe is always communicating via our physical selves, via our feelings. This is the beauty of having this physical body. The beauty of having the feelings that we have is because it's how this incredibly divine, amazing energy can actually communicate with everybody. We don't all have to be able to hear the guides to know. We have this system right here that is so beautifully designed to be an antenna, to communicate, a radio, to communicate with this wonderful universe. And then we turn away from it. And we shut that part of our body down and say, no, we don't need to listen to that. Let's change it. This is what this full moon is all about. And they also said to me that the past may not have worked out as you wish, but going forward you can walk a different path, one that your gut, that your emotional brain will lead you to. This is what it's there for. Like I said, it is the antenna, it is the radio. And it's not only connecting the universe to us, it's also connecting our soul, our spirit, our heart to us. And one thing I've noticed is so many people right now around this moon are having accidents. You know, they're hurting their ankle, or they've fallen over, or whatever it is. And I think, you know, obviously it's bad. But so often it's the universe saying, look, you're not listening, so I'm going to have to give you something, give you a problem that is actually going to make you stop and listen. Because we can be quite dim as human beings. And when we've literally followed that sort of scientific path, the whole life, the school path, whatever path it is that you followed, and if you keep trying to push forward, you know, like trying to push this massive weight in front of you, and you just won't change. You know, you simply will not get on the path of following what you feel, what you intuitively know is right. Well, then the universe will step in, or your soul will step in. It'll say, well, I'm going to stop the path. It's quite simple. You're not resting, you're not taking time, you're not being true to your own heart and your feelings, you're denying them, so we're going to create a block in the path. And it seems to be happening so much at the moment, which tells me how many of us are actually walking a path that isn't meant for us. But there's no rush to get on the path. You know, again, this idea of, oh, well, I'm now listening, therefore the path is suddenly going to open up and I'm going to know everything that I need to know right now. Oh, I wish it was like I wish. I have had so much change happening in the past couple of weeks. And I'm sitting there, it's like, okay, I'm ready. You've shown me my dreams and my visions. I'm ready. And it hasn't come yet. So it's like, okay, maybe I need a holiday first. Maybe I need to do something first. Basically, all I can do is just go with the flow and let it evolve. And this is what we have to do, is when we see things changing, is not expect everything to suddenly go, right, there we go, we're ready. But actually to keep following that path, keep following these feelings. And as we water the flowers, you know, the more you listen to your intuition, the more you listen to the coincidences and so on that are happening in your life, it is as though we are watering a beautiful little flower. Now, a flower doesn't grow from a seed to suddenly to become this massive flower in a day. You water it little bit by little bit, and gradually this flower grows. And this is what we're doing with ourselves. Little by little, we are listening to our intuition. The universe says, great, she's listening. And then they give us a little bit more of our path, and so on. So don't think that, oh my God, it's all going to change in an instant and that's it, I'm going to know. It's too much of a shock. Instead, it's a gradual awakening to our intuition. It's a gradual feeling. And I know it can be frustrating on certain days when you go, oh, I can't hear anything, I can't feel anything. It's okay. Give yourself that day of rest. Give yourself a day of calm. You are integrating everything that is going on inside of you, all the changes. And we can't keep changing and keep changing and keep changing. You know, you can't keep adding all these ingredients to the recipe. At some point, you have to say, well, we're going to bake it now. Then we're going to add another layer to the cake. We're going to add some icing, etc., etc. But allow yourself that space and that time to evolve, because this is what it is. Our intuition is an evolution. And then he gave me a lovely, lovely phrase, which was sail over the rainbow. I thought, oh, I like that. You know, we are so used to kind of looking for the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, or we can just sail over it. They're there. We can rise ever higher. We really can soar. We can become bigger than the rainbow. So they went on to say, always follow the path of light, because this is the way of the heart and the way of the soul. And this full moon offers us an opportunity to reassess what doesn't feel right. What doesn't feel right can't come with you. What isn't yours can't come with you. And they reminded me of play school. I don't know if you remember play school, or if you're in the UK and you remember play school. But, oh, let me read this. You're right, I've been telling myself some time to download it. God, yes! You know, I'll come back to play school in a minute. But, you know, it's like this idea that this is what we have. We have this sort of structure of 5 days, and then you have the weekend. You do remember, okay. But, you know, the 5 days and then the weekend, and then you work for sort of 20 weeks, and then you get your 2 weeks off, and then you're back to work, and you're back to the 5 days and the 2 days off. My God, it's so structured. It's so, you know, laid out for us. And again, have you ever thought that perhaps that doesn't work for you? That you want to work in a different way? And so even if you're tired on the Wednesday and you get up and you think, oh, I don't want to go to work, it's a Wednesday, I'm so tired. What you really need is a couple of days off, but you're not allowed to, because the system then says, but you've got to get through Thursday and Friday before you're allowed this weekend. So we've got into this real idea that you have to get up at a certain time, go to bed at a certain time, wait till the weekend to relax. But then your weekends are so full of stuff you couldn't do during the week. How is this healthy and good for human beings? It just isn't. That there is nothing healthy about that system. When you are tired, you rest. When your spiritual path goes on a pause, you pause. You go and enjoy yourself, and you go and have a hot chocolate, and you just do something that feels right. That is your intuition. Your intuition will push you, it will lead you, down the path of your purpose, but it will also lead you to the moments when you need rest. That's important. So yeah, come back to play school, and you know, there were all these things, and it was like, will this shape go through this window? And it's like, well, no, because this shape is round and the window's square, it won't go through. And this is us, you know, our vibration is changing, our energetic shape is changing. And so when you're trying to get through the next stage of your journey, the next doorway, if something doesn't fit through that doorway, it can't come with you. And don't try to twist it, to shape it, to mold it into being a shape that it doesn't want to be. If it's not going through, you know, I've seen kids and they're kind of going, right, here is the square shape and here is the round hole. I'm going to force it in. Sure, you can get a hammer, and I've seen this with kids, and they're bashing it in and going, it will go through. You can try that. But why on earth would you want to drag through the next portal of your evolution? Why would you want to drag through anything that just doesn't resonate with you? As your vibration rises, as it lifts higher, why do you want to drag through something that is a lower vibration and that just doesn't fit you anymore? It's pointless. So dump it. It's done. And the more we fight, the more we scream at this full moon and go, oh, it's tough, the more it is going to drag the truth of us out. The more it is going to say, right, come on, we're going to drag this stuff out and illuminate it for you. So the best thing you can do is just listen. It'll all be easier for you. So, thank you, Donna, bless you. So that is the chat. And now we come on to one of my favourite bits, the cards. And this time I have chosen the Sacred Rebels. Why the Sacred Rebels? Because following our intuition, stepping out of the system, is actually an incredibly rebellious act. Okay, it is challenging an orthodoxy that has been around for so long, and now we're standing up and saying, no, I'm not going to follow it anymore. So yeah, we are rebels, rebels of the heart, sacred rebels. And the first card that comes up, you're going to love this. It is restore and replenish. Okay, which is curled up in the middle of the flowers, going back to nature. And this card talks about a transition phase, a change, which is what we're in. When we go from mental into intuitive, it is a massive transition phase. And we can get things wrong and we get scared and we fall back into the mindset. It's okay. You just go again, another step forward. So it's change. And when I saw this card, I also had a wonderful word that came through. And they've been talking to me, my guides, about this word for a few days. And it is restoration. Okay, restoring our soul, restoring the connection between our intuition and our physical selves. It's a beautiful thing. And restoring our truth, restoring the truth of who we are, this divine, beautiful, spiritual, eternal being. Then we have the card, Heaven Sent. Okay, so this talks about allowing yourself to be helped. There seems to be this pride, this physical pride, that as we stand up and we do it on our own, and look at me, I dragged myself up out of the gutter and look what I've become. There's this massive pride. I did it all myself. We don't actually do anything all ourselves. We always have a team of helpers, guides, people behind the scenes who are working with us. But, you know, the physical self always goes, yay, look what I did. And so there's this moment where we go, oh, I can't really allow myself to be helped because it's weakness. It's not weakness. Heaven sent. The help is being sent to your soul, to your body, to your life. Why? Because we have this incredible divine energy that loves us. Why would we ignore these gifts? And as we start to listen to what it is that our heart, that our soul, that our gut wants, then the universe can respond to that vibration. And then the coincidences increase. And when the coincidences increase, we know that this is literally heaven sent. Trying to create this feeling of paradise, of heaven here on earth. Because that's what we're trying to create. Trying to create a paradise for every single one of us. And it doesn't have to be the whole world yet. Create it for yourself. And never feel guilty for creating a beautiful paradise for yourself, because it will help the whole world rise in vibration, and it will help inspire others to do just as you have done. And the third card is the perfection of your life. Okay? Now, people look at that and go, what do you mean my life is perfect? It's shit. It's terrible. Everything's falling apart. Yeah, we can look at it that way. Or we can look that when the chaos arrives, it's trying to kick us out of our stale position. It's trying to push us forward into really listening to who we are. Sometimes we just need chaos in order to wake us up, in order to help us shed what no longer serves us. I read something recently, I can't remember what it was, but it was something about we need friction in order to wake up. You know, we have to, human beings, some of them seem to have to be kicked to face a struggle, a dilemma, in order to actually wake up to change, to who they are, to the truth. So when the chaos comes, it's a sign that you are ready. It's a sign of your time to make the changes in your life that your heart and your soul are looking for, and your intuition, as it is illuminated, especially by this full moon, is going to take you places that are right for you. And sometimes you can't see the end. You just don't know where it's going. But you can trust the universe. You can trust your gut. You can trust your emotional brain. That if it feels right, if it feels good, it is the way to go. And you don't have to throw yourself off a cliff. You can start small. Just start listening. Start acting on what you receive. Okay? Now, I am simply going to trust the universe. I'm going to trust spirit. I'm going to trust whatever light language wishes to come through. I'm not going to ask. I'm just going to, for a particular one, I'm just going to allow myself to be a channel for the light, for us, for you. So relax back. Find that peace in yourself. Find the openness to accept the light that comes through, carried on these sound waves. Shumoshe. Turun's what about that short Shungamaya, the new were about the Dutchinaka, Zinchioma, my Tukuzmuka, Barajunt Kusia, Ayanaramota, Tudashu, Koshokim, why, Dabarmata, Shunt Kusi. Nyaisma matarmut, but I should run for Corkesipia. Nimota, Marbandiska, and Yahiwa, Marbata Totoriska, Chizu Diama, Eishima, Marbono to Sija para, a year of Camaracutus Kuskiat, Miatar Pasaparanotashi, Shunkuzuya, Maranatasi, Winter, Porana Marajonsko, Medio to the Tishkabra, Mayada, Marmubar, Sintotosissimia, Marbanitsky. Natamara arabla turmusho. Shunkojuia smiji buramdorojo butcha. Bitnichka, Piadomishka spit promotion cortiska. Tundiamo, Jimmo, Jimalbardomajo desi. Niamo ya varundoro, Naima, Borbato Shunjaisha, Nyazima, Ramanato Pur the Swing. Manabrota tutusha, Shendaya, Marinda Barashin Cassia. Jintanisha, Aima Moda Parapta Tokyo. Tundiora Nashi. Shinjia, what about a mushka? Shimna do para do Taisha, Amiana. Manda iske, Tumia, Matabrana Tatachi, Shumaruku, Shuku, Pushana, Press in the Depreta. Yaja, Munya Daramizmera, Murna Darajo, Nuxus, Korakutush, Korapreta, the Chinishki, Muravarna Darasi. Idia. Mamada, Namarapatanaya, Tamananda Varapataya, Murpatamanakaya, Marokabarnet Kiskiko, to the Machi, and Maya Baram the Pursu, Jum the Duja, Yamaram to Dara, Zizia, Shimoroko, Natasi, Mianamai, Morpataporora, Danamia Jinkishwa, Mianania Pautorata, Shinjia Porasi, Jundur, Messinia, Marama, Tisisha, Memora. Ambakazi kiora, titiu tutuntai, yampienda koroshkura, nuardasi, mina, mi barato tosha. Wuhaki amarokoto procuarzi, tepiabono tabashi, tuntari juhra, nimiji biara, para conocuto cordezikia, shincheborn de sitia, mara tapesi, tumor, arezeki unica, shembianasi, anyaro tosia. That activation was to help you to see the path of light that lies ahead of you, to follow me. But this was good to Tisha. Naparan to see. Tundamora yida, but when you want to see by you to Mosha. Uncosvara to the Muro that is to Parabatamia, Marara Rida. And Miss Wunda, Timora, Zoran Tatasi, Equa, Madame Mashi, did you and Setiaba, Bearamatasi. Miojonara. Mukabarkuta Koravata Parashisi Shuturushisi Shuturushuke Paratataris Parabatu Prokurkade Hishkits and Prora. Nidora Zama. Yanuda. Yamoy. Maro Doshia. And Urukasitia Paratoshi Judorn Zabarata. Tiora Matasi. Junkoji Oranda Jajidara. Turunkuza Maratoroshi Jukura Tatasi Shukura Maratu Pershkizo. Yamari disi. Morbarabontosi. Manania Anya Morabashura Casa. Muhinja Zapariati Escoroso. Shunjias Morocoro. Nyamuada. Indashi. To learn to trust. Learn to trust once again throughout our lives. We have had so much trust eroded. This is to help us trust once again, to trust in ourselves. Mura tatarashi to Kurakasco Ramada Barata Shish to Dushkas, your Maradoshin Cassi, Jambe to Zata, Dodonishkasavia, that wanted to protect the Church, whatever that Bishikara, Shintia Samara, Tatabara Dura, see, Marabuno Dodor Secaro, the Kashikura Tatasi, Mati Tatashi, Yamura Tatasi Majo, so Cora Patara Coricana, Coricana, Cormada Coricana, Karishi, Janduzanda, Marabatisu. We have lost the ability to determine what is a good path, what is a bad path. We've lost the ability to work out where we should be going. We have listened so much to our brain and thought about things. We've lost the ability to discern which is the right path for us. Men tunji gorens, what you on the Tetaparab, no Katakush to Tapatashi. Shouldn't you work at me at the Niski Yamada, Maratati, and you to Zundaka, Paranto Zundaka, Zorokan Mark, the Tokushkum Rapata Mashika Bazita. We have to reawaken the ancient part of us. Murmurate biji kura pasakaro do jashi doraba ora tisha minyata minyara potorozoka jamora tasasia. We have to come back to the life-saving intuition that we've always had, the bit we have denied for so long. We have to feel within ourselves again, connect, make that connection once more with all that we are. And to know that our life is not just this physical existence, that our intuition is not some silly, daft idea. It is how we communicate with our home, with the universe. This has always been within us. Mohonda daro muspore kid kropashkia na sama tarasia. Chinjia motasha darazikmo. The muda dio duduna donata tain muda nana marapatoina koyokwa. Ayundis kuenya marabatonorska uda marakushiskia. Chiona jasi. Chiamotan yasaya baradashi. Ayunda masa. Nyai tukosia. Shundaha mohashia, choa dashia, choa toa shakasia, chodajo sayo tukoya, chiau tashasi tukua, chiamashia, chaiskoasa. You feel that warmth in your belly. This is it becoming active. Kawita tuja na da pashia, dorasha sikiata kashi, sukutasha sakaya putukashasa, ayatasia. Muradarasia, Buaradarashia, Turadarashia, Tura Meka, Una Barakadorga, Yetesia. Come back to the ancient wisdom. Honja Radar Madaya Dosha, Jeza Daramatara, Huedeoda, Ayiskeya. Burandazia shea. Feel that connection once again. Murandatasi, Muranatasi, Shurankasa, Mietabura datarbrokete jukasi, Yamaratasi. We have to step out from the logical mind. It has led us not where we need to go. Come back, feel that beautiful feeling just underneath your solar plexus, that warmth. Allow it to be there. This is the connection. Making these connections back to your natural self, to your wild self, the ancient and beautiful wisdom of who you are, who you've always been. Just allowing that natural you to arise. And they say the world may look a little bit weird when you see the systems and structures that we have built. It's okay. You don't have to fit in with that anymore. You can just be you. Still flowing. So as you go about your day to day, start small. Look at something that you're about to do. choice that you're about to make. And pause and ask yourself, how does it feel? How does it feel? It's the only question. And then go with what feels right. That simple. I know you can do that. So I thank you very much for joining me here today. Thank you for being my supporters. I do these for free, but if anyone feels that they want to offer a donation, I think there's a PayPal link somewhere on my website. But if you'd like to, you don't have to, there's no pressure. The way you can really help is just by following your own light and shining bright. So if you have any questions, anything you want to share, I'm right here. I'm glad you can go and follow your intuition. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to seeing you all once again. The moons keep coming. And go and have a blessed day. Bathe in the light of this full moon. Light blessings to all of you. Bye-bye.